Welcome back to the channel, guys. So on the LS Bronco 2 project, I am starting the fuel system. So just got the fuel tank in, strapped up, and put the fuel pump in, new rollover valve, etc. So let's take a peek. All right, so the fuel tank's in with the straps for now. Skid plate still needs to be cleaned up, painted. So it's a brand new OEM style aluminum or metal tank, steel tank. It's got a brand new grommet and rollover valve in it. Brand new fuel pump. Can't remember. I don't think it's a stock fuel pump. It's something for an LS swap. I don't know. Or PSI wise, that is. So that's in. All brand new stuff. So right now what I'm doing is Jeff wants to run 3/8 6AN braided fuel line hose. So I'm just getting that all sorted out. It's a 20-foot kit, 20 foot of hose. Came with 290s, 2 45s, 4 straights. And then he had bought these 2 push lock OEM style connectors. One's a 5/16, one's a 3/8. I don't know if there's really a better way. I really can't see them making much of a tighter 90 than that, but it looks like it sticks up far. But again, there's plenty of room up here. It's below the towers. I just wish it was a little bit less crazy looking, but whatever. The pressure port comes out 90/90 flat out. That one's very nice. I like that. Let me get to the other side here so we can see. So the Bronco 2 and all the Fords that I've done so far have a pressure and a return. At least the second gen 89s and up. I know the first gens have a low pressure and a high pressure pump, so never really dealt with that myself. So very close to the factory fuel filter location is where I'm mounting. This is a combination filter / 58 PSI regulator. It's got an in, pressure in, and then a return. And the other side, there's just a pressure out because the LS is returnless. So the filter regulator assembly itself is where the return fuel is going to be coming from. So that's kind of cool. One less hose to run up front here. So pressure return lines coming out of the tank into the regulator filter. And then I think I'm going to use a 45 out. And then the hose will run basically along the frame and then up to the fuel rail. And we're just one connector short. I'm waiting on this one right here. So this will come out. This is a 3/8 to a 45. And then I'll have the fuel line come right around the back here, far away from any of the exhaust and header stuff. And then we'll get some heat wrap for this section of it anyway. So that's coming together pretty easy. So let me get these lines made up. So that's like the factory filter holder. This was roughly behind the frame here. I went ahead and drilled a 5/16 hole. I shined up, ground down the frame. I'm just gonna do a couple good tack welds. That way, the bracket kind of acts like a ground strap as well. So, be a nice strong 5/16 stud to replace them in the future, and then it's ground guaranteed. So, super easy. So it comes with 2 ends already kind of clean cut, but I still cut that back a tad just so it's fresh before I do any of the new connections. So here's one I just did. I mark it use the cutoff wheel, goes straight through nice and quick, smooth, no burrs. And then I'll take the green tape off, and then you just bottom out the hose fitting. Hose goes in this way, bottom it out. And then, all right, so like I was saying, take the end you just cut, take off that little bit of tape. And that leaves the hose with a nice clean cut. Take the hose part, push that on, bottom it out. Verify, and then I always take some tape and I'll tape right behind the fitting. So that way I know when I'm threading in the other end that I'm not actually pushing the hose out. I can always keep track of what's going on here. So I've already done 4. This will be my 5th one. Nothing has pushed out yet. But I'm sure now that I'm doing it on camera, it'll probably do it, right? Take a little bit of lubricant on the threads and on the little basically just going to start threading it by hand. And just going as far as you can until you can't do it no more by hand. That way you know you're not going to cross thread nothing. I'm actually surprised at how far I can get it in by hand, given how bad my carpal tunnel is. So that's about it. I don't have any special aluminum jaws or anything, so I just wrap some tape around the hose side nut, and I'll find my flats. Just enough to hold it snug. And then these particular fittings are 3/4 inch on both sides, so you just walk it down nice and smooth. I'm watching the tape to make sure nothing's moving on me. They're pretty fine threads, so I mean, it seems like it takes a minute to do this, but basically as soon as it bottoms out, right there, you're done. Pull the tape off, and no marks. And the tape with the hose shows it did not back off, so all set. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that other connector, got the frame harness kind of laid out here, which has the fuel pump connector on it. So that's I'm gonna get that kind of laid in with everything, or start kind of laying it with stuff. See how I want to route it, secure it. And then at the same time in the fuel lines, I'm gonna take care of the rear brake lines here too. So I just got to take one of these 5/8 tabs, which will hold the rear. We're doing, he bought a brake kit for the back, all stainless. It's all -4 AN. So it's a -4 AN fitting to a push lock end, not a push lock, but a clamped end like factory. And then it will go to 3/8 24 double flare for all the future copper frame lines up to the master cylinder. So this little tab here is going to get welded on somewhere right about here. We initially had about a 5" too short axle to frame extended hose. So now we got one that it's probably an extra 2 inches longer than what we needed, but that's what Quick Performance had to quickly send out, so no big deal. So instead of mounting it here, I'm going to mount it over here, take up a little bit of the slack, and go from there. And then I'm going to try to figure out, I don't know if I'm going to drill and tap like 1/4-20s here and here for some P-clamps to hold the axle side, or what I want to do yet. All right. So the video clips that you were just watching are a few weeks old now, maybe a month. I've been kind of jumping around on different parts of the project here. I kind of started the rear brake lines, then I kind of started the fuel lines, then I kind of did some front brake lines. Then I did this, then I did that. So I kind of bounced around, and some of my videos that I took were out of sync, out of order, and I was kind of, I think right before this clip right here, I kind of started going off on a tangent about the rear brake lines at that time. So it's just like I said before, it's been super busy here. I got so much going on. The video stuff just really, it's not easy for me to do that on top of everything else. So I'm just inserting this little clip here just to make everyone aware. So I'm going to finish up the fuel line part of the video now, and that'll wrap up this video. All right, so earlier in the video I was talking about this one 90-degree connector off the fuel pump. So I did find a lower profile fitting. The other one stuck up like up to here, so that's much better. I mean, this one wasn't in the way anyway, but it just looks ridiculous. So this looks a lot better, short and sweet. And if I failed to mention it in the video, pretty much all this fuel line stuff I'm using is from a company called Evil Energy. I don't think I've really used any of their stuff other than, I think, some V-band clamps. But Jeff has used them on a couple of his projects and says he really likes their stuff and has never had an issue with it. So, and as far as I can tell, everything looks high quality. The lines are nice. Everything that I've touched and did with this stuff worked great. They seem to have a lot of fittings. There's a company, Russell Fittings is what generally I use for all my AN stuff. But it does seem like the Evil Energy offers a lot of stuff like what Russell makes. So fuel system's basically done now, or I mean, it is done. It's all the lines are made, everything's torqued down, all the nuts and jam nuts and fittings are all tight. Everything's laid out, everything's where it needs to be. This was the fuel line fitting. I got that one. That was the other one in the beginning of the video I think I was waiting on. So this was just another, I think, 3/8 fitting. And then I did a nice 45, and it kind of swooped down and around the bell housing out of the way of everything. Utilized one of the bell housing studs with a P-clamp to hold the fuel line in place. Wrapped this section here in a heat protective wrap, just in case. So that's all said and done. And then, like I mentioned, that is the filter / regulator. So, then Jeff sent some of these little bracket things that hold the lines together. There's 4 of those. I'm just going to go through now. Well, after I'm ready with the harness here, I'm going to go through and do P-clamps to secure everything to the inner frame rail. I'm going to use aluminum 3/16 rivets, that way they don't rust, and if they ever need to be popped out, super easy and simple. So, all right, well, that's pretty much all I can cover on the fuel stuff. I mean, it's done. It is what it is. It's not rocket science. But like I said, this evil energy stuff products seem to be very cool. They works great. That, and like I said, the Russell stuff that I usually use makes things a lot easier. That way you can get everything a nice factory fit and feel, and then everything can be serviceable and removable. Makes it nice. So, all right, this is end of this video, and then I will go through my other stuff that I kind of got all out of sync on the brake line stuff, and put that video out probably next. And then in the meantime, I've been doing a little bit of sneak peeks on my Facebook, Instagram stuff, and I did get rock sliders built and assembled for this. Got a video on that coming out. So I got a lot more stuff coming out to explain what's been going on. So, all right, if you're not already subscribed, please do like, comment, share, all the good stuff. Appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.